Well, did you know that right by the airport there is a 1,000-year-old archaeological site where the Hohokams used to live?
And they left a lot of clues behind of how they lived. And Jaime Serreta is live this morning at the Pueblo Grande Museum with a behind-the-scenes tour of the artifact collections and storage area. Jaime, good morning. You are with Lindsay this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, just amazing things here. If you have not been to this area, I know you've driven by 44th Street in Washington. You see the SkyTrain overhead and just a huge piece of history in our community here. So this is Lindsay. She is the curator. Lindsay, tell me a little bit about some of the things you have, because these things on this platform came up during the light rail excavation.
Yeah, so we're the City of Phoenix repository for any archaeological projects that happen within the City of Phoenix. So whenever there's a large project in the city, it goes through archaeological review, and if artifacts are found, they come here to live in perpetuity. So we take care of them forever and ever and ever. So we have all sorts of objects here on this tray that were all excavated during the light rail excavations that run right down the middle of Washington Street. So a lot of these pieces are here from Pueblo Grande, our museum. They're actually also a Hohokam village. So that's where a lot of these pieces came from.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these things that we may recognize in our
Sure.
daily use. And let's start with something that may have been jewelry back in the day.
Absolutely. So this is what's called an ear spool or a cheek plug. So it's like a gauge that people put in their ears now. People were doing this prehistorically, and this is made out of stone. So someone took the time to grind this down and to make it beautiful, and then to use it as body decoration.
How old do we think that is?
You know, this one is probably from about 900 to 1000 AD. So you're looking at something that's about 1100 years old right
and
here.
we think of our fancy iPhones and laptops and iPads. These guys did not have anything like that. We're looking at this right here, and this might have worked in conjunction with something like this.
Yeah, actually, this is what's called a pottery polishing stone. So the Hohokam really had beautiful pottery. And this piece is really, really smooth, and it was used to make the pottery shiny and used in production. So anything that they wanted, they had to make. They couldn't just run down to the store to buy.
Now I'm looking at a shell here. We're landlocked, pretty much. How do you think this got here?
Absolutely. So these shells are in bags, and these shells are not local. They would have had to get these from the coast. So you're looking at Gulf of California, like Rocky Point, where we all go for spring break. That's where a lot of this shell comes from. So you're looking at people who walked hundreds of miles or traded to get this shell from hundreds of miles away. And these are used as jewelry. You can see this little hole here, so it's probably strung. And then this is a bead. So you think about those Hawaiian necklaces you have that are beads.
Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Okay, so these are not artifacts right here. These are replicas. But the Hohokams, they actually dug out 1,000 miles of canal throughout our valley. Many of those thoroughfares we still use here today. They did it all by hand using devices like this. So absolutely credible. And I want to let you know, when I see you again, we're going to be looking and touring the actual remains of the Pueblo Grande Hohokam village. It still stands here today. You can tour it too. A really cool look back in time that we could personally sometimes touch, sometimes use gloves,
not, yeah.
but at least see and be a part of. And the pottery too, just really cool, showing that community so big had a place for beautiful things as well. So we're going to see you again at 9:15.
I like that Jaime usually shows us what's brand new, and now she's showing us what's very old. It is always local love. Thanks, Jaime.